Hello, and welcome to Pedal Playhouse. I'm Jonah Hart, and I'm going to be sharing with you my experience so far with the Move Mic 2 receiver kit from Shure. Getting into the details of what this kit includes, while I didn't test the full range of it, it is estimated to about 100 feet. I'm not here to tell you whether it's good or it's bad, but I know at least for me, when I actually watch videos on lavalier microphones or any gear in general, I'm going to want to actually see how it does in actual real-world scenarios, in noisy environments, like what is the noise reduction like? We're going to do an interview, and I was lucky about the interview because a friend of mine, Val, told me that a guitar show was basically on the road, and it was an evening with Jen Majura and Travis Larson. So they were traveling around the United States, and they were coming to a Sam Ash guitar store by me. Little did I know, though, that was probably going to be the last time I was ever going to be stepping into a Sam Ash store. R.I.P. I'm not gonna kind of alter the audio in any way in regards to this lav mic. It's going to be no EQing, no manipulation, no nothing. All I'm going to be doing is taking the audio levels and just raising it for YouTube, so basically you can hear everything even, and you make your decision from there. But without further ado, let's get to the interview.
We take interviews serious.
This is part of the physical prep right now.
Totally
that was one of my
serious.
questions too. You're really going ahead there.
Yeah.
It's our pre-show ritual.
It is. I'm so grateful to be part of this ritual. I feel honored. I'm here at Sam Ash, and we're here to see a show today with Jen Majura and Travis Larson. And I'm thankful for you to have me here today with you both and able to take a little of your time to ask some questions. How did you guys come up with the idea to join on this tour together? How did it come up?
I was doing a jam at the NAMM show a few years ago called the X Jam, and there was a company that was sponsoring the X Jam that didn't have any artists on the roster, and they emailed me and said, we would like to put somebody on the roster that uses our product. So they said this girl, Jen Majura, from a band called Evanescence, and I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know what band that is, but is she cool and can she play? And she's both, and so that's how that started, and we did a few of those. And then during the pandemic, she was doing the 1 minute jams. So check out Jen Majura's YouTube and check out the 1 minute jams, where she gets all kinds of huge world-class metal guys like Nico McBrain and Mike Portnoy and Richie Kotzen to play really cheesy 80s guilty pleasure pop songs. So it's really great. It's great stuff. And so I said, I went on Facebook Messenger and I said, this is really great, some positive energy for the world. We need it right now.
We do.
And she immediately texted me back right away and said, I just got hit in the face by a bat. And I said, so are you talking about like a furry animal? And she says, yes, a furry animal that'll rip a vein out of your neck and kill you, turn you into a vampire.
Where was Ozzy when you needed him?
Right? Exactly.
Where was he?
So when we came up with this concept of called An Evening With, I wanted to create something that is different and fresh. And I like to be human every now and then. And this show is just honest and real.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more to an evening of excitement, fun, interaction, and kick-ass live performances by Travis. My humble little name is Jen Majura, and you are the first audience ever to witness listening to my thoughts.
There is a lot of hilarity that ensues.
No.
No, all serious?
I'm from Germany. I don't laugh. I'm so serious all the time.
Could have fooled me. Could have fooled me. What is the mental and physical, I mean, we were dancing a little earlier, but the mental and physical prep that you both have for the difference between larger and smaller shows, is there a difference?
Honestly, there is a difference, but mainly it's, let's say you play a show at a venue for like 2,000 people and 20 show up. It's not the fault of those 20 people that showed up that the other 3 gazillion didn't show up, you know? So I portray every show as having a great party. And it doesn't matter whether if it's 80,000 people or 80.
The real preparation with these shows is in mental and physical ways is trying to keep up and put up with this one right here. Because she's out of her mind, as we know, and it's the pinky and the brain, and we're trying to figure out which one's the
Oh,
pinky
no.
and which one's the brain.
Have you seen our passes?
Oh my God, those are adorable.
I'm being on the road with my best friend.
That's always the best.
Just having a great time every single day.
What did we do today?
We're gonna take over the world.
And what did we do today? Why did we come to Florida?
Yeah.
Oh,
why
we
did
went to-
you come to this
Okay.
swampland?
So here's
why
the
did you
thing.
come to my homeland?
Listen, two reasons.
Yes.
First of all, I want to go back to Germany where I live and tell everybody I toured the entire country. So right before Florida, we played in Seattle.
Okay,
Like,
that's
which is the northest
far
of
as
the
west.
northest west.
West you can go.
Just to travel here to the southest of the southest
Wow.
east. So I can go back home and say, hey, I toured the entire country. And also, a big reason why I wanted to come here was Firehouse Subs. Dude, like the best, right? So I recommended like Firehouse Subs, and I said, guys, we have to play Florida.
The other question I have, which of course is gear related, because as far as the channel goes, that's mostly what my focus is, and more of my nerding out usually, is as far as like gear is concerned, the difference between larger shows and smaller shows. I saw that you have a smaller rig, obviously, here, but in your preference, what do you prefer?
This one right here. All right, and I'm literally working with easy presets. Rhythm, which is the German Übersonic, and just a little bit of chorus, a little bit of reverb stuff, and noise compressor stuff. And then I have a solo sound with a delay and a split, and that's pretty much it. Then I have a little clean, wanna try to sound clean, but I mostly don't use this one. And of course, then for the, I don't wanna give it all away, but for the acoustic section, we have like a little acoustic preset, which works great with nylon and steel string guitars. So it's easy to adjust because I see that there's a simple EQ, and whenever, for example, today I picked up a guitar here from the store, and it just had a lot of like low end, so you just adjust the low end. And so tomorrow it might be different, so tomorrow I can adjust it again.
That's the versatility right there.
And that's it. You don't want to miss out on this incredible Tudor fart pedal that's also part of the show, which is sitting on this incredible construction of a pedal board, because it used to be a cutting board out of Trav's kitchen. We took some tape
Clever girl.
and we also just put some Velcro and dog hair on it. And
I
it's-
use cat hair.
It's the most flexible pedal board you can have. Is that correct that the Mac is not really like plugged in?
No, it should be plugged in.
Okay, I'll plug it in then.
Replug it
This
in.
is the mixing board for the tour. See the size of my hand?
Compact.
That's our entire mixing
Durable.
board for the tour.
So good. And just ignore the chaos over here. Like
Oh, you mean all of this? All of that?
So I definitely like this setup way better, even though it looks very chaotic. And I like to have, when I'm on stage, I like to see the adjustments that I can make,
On the fly.
right? So if there's like a rack behind me somewhere, I'm not a big fan of that. Because
yeah.
it's not in my control, and I have to trust somebody else, which I probably have to yell at and be like, hey, yay!
You have one job.
And I don't like that.
It definitely is a lot neater than my rig at home.
The whole idea behind this tour is the biggest show with the smallest load. So it's like the shows are getting bigger and bigger and the load's getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to show up with like a handbag and like a guitar case. I mean, that's really the idea. It's like,
Sorry,
how
guys,
small
I'm
can we
just
get?
gonna put this down here.
If we could get a modeling app that was good enough on our iPhones that we could plug into,
Oh, you wait.
we would totally,
You wait.
we
It's
would totally
happening.
do that.
It's totally happening.
Yeah. But we're getting there. But it's how big and ridiculous can. Wait till you see the show. It's so
excited.
overblown, but it's so small. It's all about that.
The other thing I was asked in kind of regards to a tour, the difference so far that you've noticed in the way of smaller show where you're having more of a kind of feedback, engagement, participation with the audience, and then of course the larger shows, what have you appreciated more?
I am a person that really values the energy exchange with the audience, right?
Yeah.
So if I can look into your eye while I'm on stage and you get like, she's looking at me. I love that because
Yeah.
you can communicate with people. I really have a hard time if there's like 80,000 people in front of me.
Oh yeah, you're not
I'm like,
focusing on
I
anyone.
barely can see the first row and I'm like, But this is like, I'm gonna look you into the eyes later. And all of you.
He's like, I'm gonna connect with you
And you and all of you over
You're gonna
there.
put someone on the spot, and I was like, yeah, what song do you want next? And the person go, what? Just looking up from their
Yeah,
phone.
wait for it.
As far as creativity goes, I saw in some of the instances of your tour, you're painting in between. So,
Yes.
of course, I'm wanting to hear more about this process and how having different forms of creativity kind of bleeds into music and guitar. I do film photography, on the
Oh,
side
sweet.
and whatnot. But I always find that when you're having issues with creativity and you hit a wall, it's always good to switch directions. Is that more the process of adding it here in which you find that it contributes to the show?
Watching her, she's somebody that constantly needs to be challenged and needs
Okay.
to be moving. And I'm a guy from more of the kind of prog fusion world, so I'm always thinking too hard anyway. So if I
Same.
if I get a break, I'm gonna sit down and have a thing of water. But with her, if she keeps kind of doing stuff, she's actually better off and more comfortable. It keeps her brain moving.
Yeah.
And so she's more on her toes, and I actually think it's been amazing because not only she is a great guitar player and singer, but she's actually an incredible artist. A lot of people don't really know that. But being put on the spot like that, when she said, I'm going to do that, I was like, are you out of your mind?
I like photography as well. I like video editing. That's why I
Yes.
put out all these
Me
tour
too.
vlogs, right? It's
I
fun to do
appreciate
that. And that's it. I would love to have Mark, our Electro Voice guy, join us for a little moment because these systems that we're using on this tour are phenomenal. And I'm thinking already about like getting one for my living room.
Mark Storr,
Hi.
pretty much for Electro Voice.
My pleasure.
And I am happy to have you here. This is the man behind the curtain, the wizard of soundboard. What are the most important aspects or components of controlling the sound on the stage and what you do?
Gotcha. Well, thank you. It can be a complex thing. These guys are at the height of their game, no doubt about it. And every stage in an audio environment is different, right? So it's a challenge every night. But that's our job. That's what we figure out. And for Electro Voice, we're just thrilled to be working with them. Number one, we try to make their job easy, so the sound comes quickly, easily. They can sing easier, longer, effortlessly, and that's where Evie kind of thrives. That's what our engineers work for very, very much to make happen for artists. So, yeah, I love being part of it. It's an amazing thing. Everything from the microphones to the speakers, they all are made to work together.
Oh yeah, what's the microphone that I love so
Yeah.
much?
The ND96.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And we went through many microphones just because we wanted to find the microphone that made your voice pop in the mix, made it easy to sing all night long without stressing the vocal cords, and that's really important for singers.
How many microphones did you bring to test? How many did you bring and just okay, speak, sing?
I think we went through 5 microphones
Okay.
total, 5
Yeah.
different models, each with microphones are tools, right? They all have a little bit different purpose, but it's all about finding the one that makes the voice pop and easy. And it's what producers do in the studio. They line up a bunch of microphones and say, sing the line, okay, stop, sing the same line again, and then they stop on a microphone that just opens up the voice and it makes it easy to record, and that's where they usually capture it. So yeah, we settled on the 96, which she loves, and I'm thrilled. Couldn't be happier. So yeah.
The other thing is, between the shows that you've done so far, how have they varied as far as each show being a little different? How have you set up for that?
Pretty straightforward. While the equipment sometimes varies, what is nice about EV speakers in general and all our stuff is that it doesn't matter if it's this line, this is my flagship, the ETX line, to my entry level of ZLX G2. They're very similarly voiced, so it makes my job really easy. While slight variance, they're voiced all the same or very, very similar, so it makes my job super easy. So yeah, big big, small, doesn't matter. We're in the ballpark just by turning on the system and listening, and then we're really close, and then just small dials, right?
Awesome.
Small movements when you're
Small
driving a
adjustments,
747.
exactly.
Small movements on the controls. Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome.
But
Oh.
thanks for having me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
I love that. I mean,
Right on.
again, if I'm learning at the same time as well, that's all the process is. Everybody obviously gets to hear things they may not know
Yeah.
about. And if they plan to do things like that, or with, Electro Voice, any planning or equipment, that also is good to know about as well, and how
It's great.
easy and streamlined it can be.
It's awesome. And, these guys are using no amplifiers on stage tonight, so 100% of the show is coming out of two Evolve 30s, 30 M's out front, and they're listening to themselves back in the wedges, and it's easy. These guys make my
Straightforward.
job really easy. I love it.
Do we though, really?
We'll talk later, Trav.
I guess at this point, and you guys are about to, the show's about to start. And of course, I must say the thing that I have to say, because
We love you too.
you beat me to it, but also because you are both about to rock, I must salute you.
Salute you. Thank you so much for having us.
That was funny. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both for having the interview, and I really appreciate hearing about it all.
Thank you. That was
you.
very nice.
I hope the interview with the audio was helpful for you in making any kind of decision, of whether something like this would be helpful for you. I've actually found several uses for it besides the interview. I've actually used it in one of my recent instrument demos, in which I was talking about the history and everything of the Danelectro sitar guitar. And I'll link that basically after we leave here so that you can check that out. And that's basically, I am directly connected to my computer, and it is translating kind of the audio to my DAW while I was talking at the back of the room with an instrument. That was my first video I did, and I already learned so much, and I'm grateful for the opportunity of being able to use this. So thank you so much, Shure. Thank you, Yuri. I really appreciate you. And this so far has been a great learning experience, and I look forward to using it going forward with the other videos, and including like instruments and such, or also any events going forward. One of the things that I definitely wanted to also say is that if you liked any of what you've seen so far here with this video, and also my sense of humor and how I edit things, please stick around for the journey. Hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you along. And until the next time we meet, be the good you wish to see in the world, be excellent to each other, and be seeing you. If you're new to this channel, allow me to tell you some details about it and how you can help it grow. Subscribing to the channel is one great way to help, as well as sharing it with your friends and laughing together watching the animated silliness we get into while exploring effects pedals and creating original music with the house band. A monetary way you can support the channel is through Sweetwater affiliate links, as well as Patreon. So thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I would not have gotten this far without your encouragement and support.